This is the Elder Observation. I'm your host, Pharaoh El-Aton, and today's discussion is all about Kemet and Egyptology. This is an interview with one of the earlier pioneers of Egyptology and Kemet in America, and I really hope you enjoy it.
I am 72, and I've started off into Egyptology 1967, 68, and this brother named Aye, he introduced me and some other brothers into the history of ancient Egypt. And it started off with us dealing with believing in ancient aliens, you know. And he introduced us to Sun Ra, which Sun Ra was trying to make a lot of black people especially aware of their history. And through Aye, we studied the Book of the Dead and started reading all kinds of books, like my diet. You know, he got us into more deeper into our diet. You know, and through him, we started being exposed to Zen Buddha. We started going to the north side. And it goes on and on. Do you want to ask me anything else? I'm trying to make a long story short. The history for the Saba African American Museum, I can tell you a little history of that. Which we all know, those that do know, the first museum was on 39th in Michigan. And Dr. Margaret Burroughs, she was like the founder, the husband, Mr. Burroughs. And I got a chance to meet her son too. I can't remember the name, but she allowed us to practice in her basement. And the name of our group was the Black Spirits. And when she went to Africa, she brought back African instruments for us. And we used the instruments when we did shows, the fundraise for the museum. And during that time, there was the Afro Arts Theater. And we got a chance to play at the Afro Arts Theater, which Phil Coran, he was like the founder. And we did shows. And that's why I got a chance to see Shaka Khan, Ethel Kitt, a bunch of famous black people came through there and performed. And Olatunji, you know, this African group. And upstairs, over the Afro Arts Theater, was the headquarters of the Blackstone Rangers, which we didn't have no problems at the Blackstone Rangers, you know, because they looked at us like, you know, cool. You know, that was the time they wore their red berets, and they were different from the gangs we have today. They didn't just go around shooting people and, you know, harming people unless they had a reason to. And the Afro Arts Theater, when you came, it was on 39th and Oakland Wall. And when you came to the door, they had Pharaoh pictures, the Egyptian art at the front door. And the band that played out there, they called them the Phil Coran and Artistic Heritage Ensemble. And they all drove Mercedes Benzes, black. So we looked up to them because we were a little younger. Well, anyway, eventually the Blackstone Rangers took over the theater, you know, and that was bad times anyway. I learned a lot through that period. My Egyptian name is Ptah El-Aton, And I didn't pick my name. Someone picked it for me, you know. Yeah, he gave us all Egyptian names. And over the years, I became Ptah by studying ancient Egyptian, history. And I've seen the power in saying Ptah. They say, speak of the gods that they will live, you know. So, uh, and it got to the point that that's the way I live. And the group of us that hung together, we lived the life of the Egyptians. This is the way we thought, and this is the way we flowed, you know. And Aryeh eventually joined with Sun Ra. He went to Philadelphia, and from Philadelphia they had a chance to go to Egypt, and they did a concert on the pyramids. And they was playing horns, and they brought back Egyptian gold, which a lot of people only kind of gold they familiar with is the yellowish gold. And he brought back bronze-like gold, different unks, the ankh that looked like a person with arms sticking out, which is a symbol of life. And Aton, we chose that after the 18th dynasty, Akhenaten. A lot of people, if they study the pyramids that come on regular TV, they speak of Akhenaten and King Tut, and dealing with the one God concept, Aton. That's why I chose Aton. All of us was like Aton. Well, Father Elijah Muhammad, I think he was a great black man. And however, what he was supposed to done, as far as having more than one wife and dealing with the young women in the mosque, I can overlook that because I'm dealing with the positive things that he done for the black community. During that time, I was fortunate enough to go to a lot of Savior's Day. They had the Savior's Day, and I got an opportunity to listen to Elijah Muhammad, and what he was saying was positive. And during that time, he was opening up various businesses like shops, and then he had the restaurant on 83rd and Cottage Grove. And I remember I was working for Commonwealth Edison downtown at the time. And basically, I broke my fast at the restaurant. I made fast about, 3, 4 days. Then I break my fast on bean soup and maybe a little fish at that time. And he had farms too. Elijah Muhammad bought farms and this and that. And I love the Savior Day Parade because you got an opportunity to see the beautiful sisters wrapped in all their white. And then you see the fruit of Islam. They're like soldiers, so disciplined. And you can see the brothers on the corner selling Muhammad Speaks. And a lot of the young brothers of our age was, talking to us. And we'll ask them questions which we knew they didn't know the answer because we was getting information that they wasn't aware of. And the reason that I never wanted to join Nation of Islam because to me that was stifling my knowledge because, certain things they didn't supposed to deal with. So we was like hungry for knowledge, the young brothers that I was hanging with. We was all over the place reading and finding out all kinds of information from various elders, older elders. So I wouldn't be in my position of knowing certain things if I wasn't fortunate to run into brothers like this that was speaking of Marcus Garvey, they parade. We used to run into them in the park. Older brothers, they'd sit around, they'd be talking about the old days. And it started from there, and I learned a lot from, speaking to these brothers. Well, most people say, or I tell people I'm a vegetarian because that's what they can relate to. But basically, personally, I call myself a microbiotic, grains, fruits, and vegetables, and there's probably certain nutrients in the air that we deal with. Speaking of that, I remember me and the brother Ramesses and the other brothers like Tamu and all of us, we used to fast. We'll go on maybe a 19-day fast. We'll start it off with, heavier food. Then we go to salads, then we go to fruit. Then the last days we'll deal with mineral water, spring water, whatever. And we'll go to the lake and listen to the music. And we were so high on a natural fast that they'll swear that we was on kind of acid or something. But we wasn't. We was just dealing with a natural food, a natural diet. What I want to say to the elders of the black community, they always speaking of the youth, how they're all out of control. But we have to blame ourselves to a degree. Okay, like during school time, you ask, where the kids at? They're the kids, they not in school, they hanging on the corner. Then you wonder why they get in trouble, because you and kicked them out. Because when we went to school, it was hard for, you can just kick out a child out of school and say that's it. If you didn't make it in a regular school, they sent you to a school where you can adjust. And when you adjust, then they let you back in school. They don't have no kind of direction. And the only hope for black people to survive, they got to adopt their cultural. Cultural is the key to our survival. And their spirituality. Through culture, we learn about ourselves and we learn to love each other.
Much respect to the elder Ptah El-Aton. I appreciate him sharing this information, and I'm sure he has lots more information to share. So if you want to stay up on what's going on, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you can keep up with these series and these episodes as they're put on YouTube. And like I always say, health is wealth, so take care of yourself.